Remarketer. Empowering realtors.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed your Victoria Day long weekend and have had a chance to celebrate with your families, enjoy the great weather. So today's session is the second episode of what we were discussing last week. And we were basically looking at some of the ways that you can customize your website, make it vibrant, change it and alter it frequently. And we went through some of the options that you have. And today I simply want to continue where we left off and show you more and other features and techniques that you could use in order to customize your website and keep your website up to date and refreshed on an ongoing basis, pretty much. All right, so let's get into our discussion again. So if you remember last week, we talked about the face of the website, the home page, and how we can customize it using different options that we have in Remarketer. So one of the things that we did was to change the banner. You saw how we can have sliding pictures, how we can change the sorry, how we can change the taglines here, the buttons, the URLs, the links to the buttons, how we can use videos like this one that we're doing. And pretty much the header, if we have a transparent background, what should be the alternative logo, for instance, here, so that it can alternate between a white one that blends well with the background and the actual one with the actual picture. Color scheme, for instance. So these are some of the items that we discussed, and now I want to go ahead and show you more. So if you remember where we last landed in terms of the tabs that we have here. I'm sorry, let me just put this on silent. And obviously do not disturb. Great. All right, so we were in the website config tab here under website design. This is where we're able to make the changes. So I'll just quickly go through the tabs that we already went through. The main was for you to use the theme, the header style, whether you like the header to stick around when you're scrolling down or not. The page title bar. So these are the ones that we discussed. Then we have the color scheme. So you had the predefined color schemes that you could choose from, or you could go for a custom color scheme if you want to have your own color palette, your own branding, a custom branding color palette applied to your website. So we also talked about this as well. Then we moved on to the media. This is where you upload your website logo, the alternative logo for transparent backgrounds if you wish to have that, the footer brokerage logo, the title background. So these are the things that we changed as well, and I showed you how you can change things. So for instance, we changed the service section background with this taco image, if you remember, just to show you how it'll change. And then we moved on to the slider section. So this is where we learned about changing the pictures here, the background pictures, changing the what the tagline says on each one of the sliding banners, or we could go ahead and use a video banner. So this is what we are using right now, and this is the video banner that's running right now. So it's so easy that you can pretty much do this every once in a while. So for instance, if you want to make your website uh, show different background pictures or different videos based on seasonality, you can do that for special occasions. So let's say, for instance, yesterday we had the Victoria Day, and you want to have something with regards to the occasion on your website, you could just simply go ahead and make the change here. So this really helps your website send across a very different message for the people that do visit your website, and it basically represents a website that is well maintained, and with very very easy way to approach this. So you can just simply go ahead and add this. You could use from our Pixabay repository, or you can just upload your own picture and you can change things. So for instance, if it's winter, you can have a wintry image. If it's summer, you can use a summery image. If it's a special occasion, you can have that. If it's a special property that you want to be showcasing in your banner, you can even do that, right? So there are so many different approaches that you can take, and the whole point that I'm trying to make here in this conversation of ours is for you to do that. To go ahead and make the looks of your website change depending on what is your priority at the moment. So these are the kind of things that you can actually do. So you can, if you have a special property that's listed right now and you want one of your top banners to be dedicated to that, you can even do that. You can upload one of your property's pictures here, and you can change the wording here to say, check out my latest listing, for instance, and have a link to the property detail page. So you could do all of that here as well. So in fact, let me go ahead and let's start off today's discussion by doing just that, just to give you an idea. So let's go ahead and select one of the properties here. So let's imagine this is my property, right? The one that I really want to put in the center. Okay, so let's choose one of the pictures. All right, I like this picture, for instance. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. Sorry, save image. And I will go ahead and resize it to the size that I want. I'm just doing that in the background. Just bear with me for a second. So I resized it to 1,200 pixels by, let's say, 680. Could be anything. Great. Okay, so my picture is ready. And this is the property detail page. Okay, I wanted to point here. Let's do that. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to switch off that video, and I want to switch on the photo slider. Okay, now if you remember, I told you that you can take out banners. So let's just save this first. So now let's go to the home page. All right, so I have this banner, I have this banner. Oops, sorry, I clicked. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 banners here. Let's say I just want that one specific banner, and I want it to have this format, like the second one. So I'll just want to say here, this would be the picture of the property, and then here I'd like to say, just listed beautiful property, for instance, and then take a look, right? So let's do that. So I'm going to take out every banner other than this one right here. Okay, let's do it. So I don't want the first one. This is how I'll take it out. I just delete the content. That's it. I took it out. I want the second one. I don't want the third one. So I took them all out. Let's save it. So now I should only have one banner here. Let's refresh. There it is. There's only one. No back and forth pictures anymore. And now I want to start changing things. So the first thing I want to change is the background picture. So I just downloaded that picture. I resized it to the size that I wanted. I cropped out the extra space stuff there. And there it is. I upload the picture. Save. Refresh. That's how it looks now. So I have that picture right there. Okay. So now let's go ahead and change the things here. So at the top here, instead of find your dream home, I want to say just listed and that. Okay, so just listed 12 Fleance Drive Markham. Save. Let's go ahead and check it out. Just like that. All right. Now here, I want to change the saying to, let's say, just listed. Da-da-da. Instead of Markham, I'm going to put in the price, which is 1898. Just like that. And then here, instead of get notified, I'm going to say, don't miss out on this fabulous comma, fully renovated opportunity. Okay, and now let's go ahead and see it again, refresh, there it is. And I want to change this button. Instead of saying get started, I want it to say see details. All right. And then the URL is going to be this URL. So once they press the button, I want it to go here. So I can copy this. And here's the href. Here's the listing. So if you remember, you can have the whole thing, or you can just have whatever it comes after your domain here. So I'm just going to copy that. Even if you take the whole thing, it's still fine. But because I just want this to match here, so there it is. That's the href. That's the reference point, and this is what I'm going to replace it with. Okay, so I changed whatever comes in between these two quotation marks. So remember not to take out any of the quotation marks, but that's that easy. Save, and there we have it. Let's go ahead and refresh it. There we have it. So I really wanted to promote this property of mine, so I even added it on the sliding banner itself. So see details, and there it is. So another thing that you can do is you can still have your old system of sliding banners, and then you can promote up to 3 or 4 of the properties. So for example, if I want to create another one exactly the same for another property of mine, let's say, for instance, I want that one for for this one. let's do it. Let's select one of the properties, one of the pictures. Which one would be a good picture to share? Let's see how the background looks like. Okay. I'll just take this one then. I just right click and save image. And I'm going to make it the same size. Remember, the one rule of thumb that I told you with regards to the selecting banner pictures is that they have to be the same dimensions. That was the rule of thumb that we had. So the dimensions of the previous one that I made was 1200 by 680. I'll make the same thing here as well. So I'm just going to resize this one. $1,200 by 680. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do the second one. All right, so I want to do exactly the same thing, but for a different slider banner. So what I'll do is this. Oh, by the way, you see this slider link here? It still goes out to listing alert. So this is what happens. Let me show this to you before we move out with the other one. So if I click on the button here, see details, it's okay. But if I click anywhere else on the banner, it still takes me to that old URL. So remember, we got to update both of them. So let me go ahead and update both. So I'll need this URL here. I'll copy this and I'll put that in here. Save. So now if I refresh, whether I click here or here, it will still take me to the property detail page. Now, let's do it for this other one, right? So we'll do exactly the same thing. So what I'll need to do is this. Firstly, I need the copy. So I'll copy this whole code here, and I will paste the code right here. So I have another one exactly the same. I will change the picture to the new one that I just made. This one, select. Let's just save it and see how it looks. Refresh. So now I have this one, and then I have this one. But obviously I need to change, I need to change the writings here. All right, so this one is 18 Laurier Avenue. So just list it. And what's the price? 1798. Just like that, I'm editing the text here. And what we have here, absolutely stunning detached house situated in the prestigious Oak Ridges. So I will change this one. Absolutely stunning detached house situated in, I just want to make it a little shorter. Okay, so I changed that. I changed this one. And now I need to change the href, the URL. So everything that comes after the, oops. Let me just refresh. Everything that comes after the domain, I'll just copy that. And we will update this little guy right here between the quotations, remember? And I'll paste it in here as well. Let's save it and see what we have. Refresh. Now I have a sliding banner between two different properties, right? And I can just click and go to the details page. Or right here and go to the details page. So you see, pretty easy, and you have a completely new feature on your website now, a completely new function on your website, and that is promoting your listings on the absolute first fold. So these are, it all depends on what your priorities are, but uh, whether it's branding or uh, service, communicating services such as home valuation and uh, listing alert, or pure old properties, you can do anything, right? So you can just have your website updated every once in a while according to what's on your agenda. And that you don't have listings going on right now, stick to the seasonality, stick to I don't know, a nice video, or you just promote your branding. So that's your objective, but I just want to show you that it's all easily doable. You can easily apply whatever is on your mind on your website. All right, so let's move on and go to the next one. But before that, I see a couple of questions here. Jeff, hi Jeff. Good morning. I'll go. I mean, I'll come to your website. The answer obviously is yes, but I'll come to your a question a little bit later. But let me take Diane's question here. So she wanted me to show you how to resize a photo. Now, I'll show you. The thing is that it could be slightly different on your computer depending on what kind of an operating system you're using. Mine is a Mac right here, but it's pretty similar what we can do on Macs or Windows. But let me show you how I resize the video. I'm sorry, the picture before moving on. So let me share my screen here. All right, so here's my screen. Let me go ahead and show you how I resize the picture. So I just simply open one of the pictures. So this opens up in the preview app on my computer. So that's how a Mac works. Now, an image preview is also available on a Windows. And for resizing an image, it's just any one of these default apps is just going to work. So what I do is that I will just simply select the area of the property of the picture here, and you can see in the corner, right here in the corner, I don't want to let it go, the window that I'm selecting. You can see the dimension here, right? So you can see the width. I've taken the entire width of the picture is 1200. So that's not changing because I have the whole thing. But going up and down, you can see that the height is changing there, right? So now I can just select the area. So for instance here, and then I want the height to be 680. It could be anything, right? So any proportion that looks right to you, right? So if I move this up or down, right, I can see where it is, and I will just stop at 680. So now it's 1200 by 680. I can then move this to the right, selection. And then what I'll do is that I will crop this. There's the crop here. It duplicated it as a TIFF because it was a WebP, which was a different file format, which you can't save as a picture. Now this one can be saved as a picture. So now if I select the whole thing, you see it's 1200 by 680. So I just cropped it, and now I simply go ahead and save this. So now it'll save it as a PNG, and I'll use this resized and cropped image. So I hope this helps you a little bit. As I mentioned, it could be different based on the type of operating system that you're using, but it's the same procedure pretty much. So just try it out with whatever you have. You just open the picture and zoom out, select the area that you want, use the selector option that you have to adjust the size, and then crop it and then save it. That's it. Okay, let me go back to my main screen here. Cool. So this is what we did. Another trick for you, and just for you to be able to see what are the possibilities that we have here. Okay, let's move on to the next tab right here. We have the fonts. So here you can change two sets of the fonts, the body font as well as the title font. All right, so it's pretty self-explanatory. We've got titles, and then we've got body, like these parts, right? So we have titles. This is a title. This is a body. This is a title. These are body text, right? So you can change those and have a different font applied to it. So there's a list here that you can select from. It doesn't display because it's a pop-up. It doesn't display on the shared screen here, but there's a list here. You can go ahead and select that. Once you select it, the preview appears here on the right. So you can select any one of these, right? So I'm changing the fonts, and these are all Google fonts, so you can search them and see them for yourself as well, right? So let's say wow, that's too much. Let's say I want to use this one. Save it. These are for the bodies. So now you see the body font changed. Now there's the font size. So it's a 16 pixel here. These are usually good sizes for standards that are used on websites. But if you want to change that, you could do that as well. And there's also the body font weight. So that's basically the thickness of the font. So the higher this number is, it's going to be bolder, blacker, thicker, the font. So that's the font weight. And then obviously we have the font color as well. So if I change that to blue, for instance, here, then we have the body is going to be blue right here. See, so you can do all of those as well. Now, the default option here is the PT Sans. Let me go ahead and select it. There it is. And obviously black. That's the default. But if you want to change it, you can. It's right here. And you can change it for the titles as well as the body. Okay. Now, let's go to the next tab here. Now, the next tab is a little bit technical, but it's good for you to know what options you have here. Some of them we've already talked about in the last session as well, but I'll just go over them again here. So the first thing is the languages that you want to add here. So for instance, if I have all these languages selected, they are all available under here. So I can change the language, for instance, to whatever other language. It will change the static content of the website, like the titles here, to that language. But obviously the dynamic content, like these guys that are coming from the data feeds, they are not translated, right? So we still have some English available here, but elsewhere in the website, wherever we have anything that's static, those are translated, like these, for instance, here. Okay, so you can select these. It's just as easy as selecting, do you want German or not, and that's it. Now, we have the custom search section. So this is where you are going to be able to see these guys right here on the home page. So what this does is that it represents your areas of expertise. So it's good for you to select 4 of these custom search areas. It's a way for you to say that, yeah, I have the data for everywhere, but these are the main cities that I'm promoting, right? So, that's a good thing. That's a good value for a realtor to show expertise in a niche, and geography is one of your uh, ways to select a niche, pretty much. And you could do the same thing with market reports as well. So the market reports are right up here, and these are the cities that have been selected right here. So if someone goes to any one of these market reports, they're going to see the market reports of that area. So this is the Mississauga residential market analysis, and we've got all the stats and reports here. Or we have the custom search, which is these guys. So it'll basically default the search to that area. So if I click on Aurora, it'll start off right here from Aurora. Okay. Now let's see what else we have on this tab right here. Now, 2 more things that I want you to pay attention to. The website tag name, right? So this is what appears right here in the tab here. And that is the title of your website. So if someone searches on Google and your website pops up, so let's just search for anything. Right, so you see these are all the different results for a Google search result. And you can see that there's a title here. You see this one? That's a title. And that is what is read from right here, the website tag name. So you can change that. Let's just say realtor in I don't know, Calgary. Right, so you see, for instance, here, no commission real estate call us today. This is the title of the website, right? So you would most probably want to have your name reflected there, and you can also add something else in there as well, right? So, connect with a local agent. So for instance, here, I can go and say, all right, Mary Clarkson, and then here I'm going to say, this one says remarketer demo. So I'm just going to say, connect with a local Richmond Hill realtor, something like that, right? So if someone searches and my website comes up, that's what it's going to say. It's going to say Mary Clarkson, connect with a local Richmond Hill realtor, right? So that's what this is. And the other one is the website tag description. So the website tag description is what comes after. So these guys, right? So you want to have 1 or 2 sentences that would be, the main reason why someone would select this option and click on this result here. So that's something that you might want to have, something like this one here. So we've identified or ranked top realtors in your area, whatever, with extensive experience in Richmond Hill market. I've helped numerous clients buy and sell properties, for instance. So it could be part of your bio, or it could be any other thing pretty much that you want to say. But that's what comes right after the result, the title in a search result. So it's important and probably the core of your SEO. So that's, think of it as, what kind of a search you want to pop up, and what would it say when you have the opportunity to be in a search result that's being viewed by a client. So that's what these two are. Now, the property detail lock is, not a lot of customization on the website in terms of looks of it, but this is how the website behaves in terms of locking properties for registration. So basically, by default, it's set to never. So, I can go to any property search, for instance, here and start looking at different properties. So let's say I can just go on to this property right here, and then go on to view another property, and then view another property, so on and so forth. Except for VOW properties that are locked per requirement by the boards. All the other ones are free to look at, right? So I have these properties available. This one, for instance, I can go on and on. But if I change this and I say, okay, so you could view 3 properties, and then when you look at the 4th one, it's going to lock it and ask you to register, right? So that's one thing that I can do. I can say look at 5 properties, and then on the 6th one, lock it and ask them to register, or just 1 property, or always lock it and ask them to register. So if I do that, and let's go ahead and refresh this, whatever property that I want to look at, I will need to register like that before I can see the actual property. It'll all be blurred out, and it will not show the property to me unless I register. Now, would I recommend for you to do this or not? It all depends. Obviously, this data is not exclusive to you. So you're not the only person out there who has this data available on the website. It's available on pretty much any agent's website, the properties pretty much, right? Yes, it's true that your website has VOW properties, VOW properties, it has sold properties. It's got a lot more, but at least the IDX properties are available across the board. Any real estate agent might have IDX properties as well. Even if not, Realtor.ca always has everything, and the consumer knows that. They know that the property detail information are available out there, and I don't have to register here on this website in order to gain access to that. So, not a lot of people a lot of people know that, and most of them would just pretty much opt out and leave your website and go elsewhere to find the information. So my usual suggestion is, if they're on your website, let them see what they want to see on your website, because if you block them and hold them back, they're just going to go to somebody else's website, right? So we don't want to do that. We don't want them to leave. And once they're here and they look at all the properties and extra features and content that we have available for them, like transaction history, like schools rankings, and the market analysis, and all of the information that we have available for them, these could then work their magic and gain their trust in coming back to our website for further property viewing. But if your policy, let's say you're running some ads and you simply want to generate leads, no matter how qualified that lead is, then you might want to start blocking things and then want people to register. You want them to prompt. You want the system to prompt for registrations as much as possible. Then you might want to change this to always require registration, or at least just give them 1, 2, 3 properties to see, and then ask them for registration, which could be a good idea because you're already showing them the values that you have on your website, the extra stuff that you have that other people don't. And then on the fifth property, then ask them to register, for example. So that's what this little drop down here does. The before head tag script and then the body tag script. This is for tags. If you're using pixel tag management, any code that's required to track interactions on your website, they usually ask you to to copy and paste a code onto your before head or in the body tag script. So usually the body tag script is used for third-party scripts such as chatbots and stuff to be used, and then the before head tag script are usually for tracking utilities such as Pixel, for instance, to be used. So here, as you can see, I have Google Tag Manager. It's just copied and pasted here. That's it. And then we have the custom CSS, which is for more of advanced customization, which I'm not going to get into this because this one really requires code knowledge, and that's what our guys here use if we were to customize your website. Which takes me to, oops, I forgot to take down Diane's question here, which takes me to Jeff's question here. So Jeff is asking, can my website be redesigned by Remarketer? Absolutely, yes, of course. I mean, it depends on the extent of customization that's required, but there will be a little bit of an extra charge for that, but we certainly can do the job for you. You can outline what you'd like to be done to your website, and we will let you know. It's not going to be an expensive project because our systems are easily customized. We've designed them in a way that we can customize with the lowest cost possible. But to answer your question, we certainly can customize a website for you as well, as easy as it is. But if you want anything more specific and more professional, of course we can step in and help you with that as well. All right, so let's move on to the section part. Now, the sections part is where you can add custom content to the homepage. So right now I have, let me see if I have any custom content here. Let's just remove everything and then start from scratch, and I'll show you what we can have. All right, let's just, what is this? So by default, you don't have anything here. I'll just move them out. So this is by default, it's just empty. Now I'll show you what these custom sections are and how to control them, and then I'll show you how you can add content to them. All right, so let's just for now move to the next tab right here. And on the next tab right here, you have, let me just load the default. This is the default configuration. So basically we have a layout. Let me just refresh. This is the layout of my website. So basically what we have here is this. We have the banner at the top. Then we have featured properties. Then we have new developments. Then we have call to actions here. Then we have the market statistics, which is not configured here. Then we have the custom searches. Then we have the exclusive services section. Then we have the brokerage properties. Then we have testimonials, tools, and then finally latest news. And you can see that same sequence right here. We've got featured properties, new developments, call to actions. Then we have the neighborhood update. Then we have the mini stats. We have the default search Those are the four little circles. Then we have the service. Then we have the office listings. So we have testimonials, useful tools, and then recent news. Now, in between, you can see that we have some custom sections as well. Custom section 1, custom section 2, custom section 3, custom section 4, custom section 5 here. And these custom sections are what we can populate here in the sections tab, right? So we can do that. But before doing that, let me show you another thing that you could do here. So for example, instead of having news all the way down here, I might want to have news between the featured properties and then the new development. Or let's say I just want to have news, let's say between the featured properties and the new developments. So we go back here. What I do is that I just pull recent news between featured properties and new developments, right? So I just moved it right here, and I can now save it. So let's refresh my website and let's check it out again. So featured properties, then we have news, and then we have new developments. So you can see that I can easily move things around. So let's say I want to have the call to actions right at the top, at the very top. I'll just move it to the very top. I save it. Let's go ahead and refresh it. So now at the very top, I have the call to actions, and then I have the featured properties. So this is one thing that you can do here. You can move things around and change things in the order that you want them to appear. Now, let's say you don't want something to be there. So for instance, you don't want to have the recent news here. So what I need to do is I need to find that item here. There it is. And I just click on this minus sign, right, to remove it away. So it took it out, right? So I don't have real estate news on my homepage anymore, right? You could have moved it down, you could have moved it up, you could remove it as well, right? So it's now gone. I don't even have one down here anymore, right? Nothing. If I want to place it back, all I would need to do is to click on this plus item, and it'll just add it here, and then I can move it wherever I want to move it, right? Now, if I want to load the default again, I'll just click on load default, and it'll take everything back to the default order again, right? So this is what we have here. Now, let's go ahead and check out the custom sections here. So the custom sections right now, even though they are part of the structure of the homepage, they don't show anything because they're empty. So let me go ahead and fill this up. Let's say I want to add something about myself here on the homepage right off the bat, right? Let's just refresh this. We're back to the original configuration. Let's say I want to include something about myself right there on the homepage. I do have the content on the about page, but I want to have it on the homepage as well. So what I can do is that I can use one of the custom sections to do that. Now, we do have a tool to create custom pages, right? And that is another topic. But we could use that same tool to create HTML code that I can just paste in here and add as my custom section. And this is exactly what we're going to do today. So what I'll do is that I'm just going to open this in a new tab. So I'm going to the custom pages section. I'm not going to create a custom page. I just want to create HTML code for a custom section on my homepage. So what I'll do is that I'll click on add new, and this is my page builder. So I just want a little content to be created, and I just want to extract the code. So now here you have the grid system and then the HTML elements. Now, if you want to understand more about how these guys work, I encourage you to go ahead and check out the videos that we have on creating custom pages. So we have extensive videos on creating custom pages, but it's pretty easy. You just select the layout using the grid system, and then select the type of content using the HTML elements. And I'll just show you how that. So let's say I want to have my picture on the left and then some content on the right. So my picture on the left and some content on the right. So I want to give a smaller section to the picture and then the larger section to the content. So I'll use this layout here, like 2 columns, 1 column for the picture and then 1 column for the content. So in the left column, I want to have picture. So I'll just move the image HTML element here. And in the right column, I want some text. So I will use the text HTML element to the right column. Now I will start editing this. So I'll just click on this little yellow gear icon right here, and then I can select the picture. So if we go down, there should be a picture of me. Let's find it. If I have it, maybe not. Let's imagine this is the picture. All right, so let's imagine that's the picture, or you could just upload your picture there and use it. So that's the one that I want to use. I'll just click apply. So that's my image. Now, the next thing that I want to have is something about me right there. So let's take that from the about page. Where is it? Right here. Okay. So I want to use this part. I'll just copy that. And we'll go to the custom page builder again. Like that. I want to add a title, welcome to my website, whatever. I'll select this. I'll change the format to a heading. It's going to be a heading 2, and that's just normal text. Apply. So that's what that's going to be. And then I want to have a button. Let's say I'll add a button here that says, contact me today. And the link would be my contact page, right? So let's go to the contact page. And just like every other occasion where we selected a URL, just whatever comes after your domain. So I'll just copy this section. Let's go back to the page builder. That's the link /contact. I want to change the style. It's going to be, let's say, warning, which is yellow, or danger, which is red. The size, I want it to be large. I want it to be like a block. So you can see all these options in the custom page webinar that we have. But this is the content that I want to add to my custom section on the homepage. So what I'll do is that I'll just click save, and there it is. See, the code has been created for me. I just copy this code, and I will move back to our custom sections. So let's say I want this to be at the very top. So I will use custom section 1 for it. I'll just paste the code that I copied right here. I don't even have to save this. I just clicked save. I'm not going to go ahead and save it further. You can even save it and keep it for later if you want to. But our whole idea was to use this drag and drop tool to easily create code. And I'll just save it. I just copied and pasted the code, and just like that, I have this section added right here. If someone clicks, they're going to go to contact me, and they're going to see my picture at the top here, and then they're going to have this right there. Now, let's say I want to move this. You now know what to do, because the section is right here, custom section 1, and I would like to move that down after the new developments. Save, refresh. So now we have the featured properties, the new developments, and then we have this, right? So all of that can easily be configured, and you will easily be able to add up to 5 custom sections on your homepage, and you can easily place them wherever you want to place them. All right, and that's that. And then the final tab that we have here is the main menu. This one is a pretty easy one. You have the menu structure of your website up here. So that's the menu structure. Home, about, listings, search, tools, and then we have some sub menus right here. Market reports, news, and contacts. So if I go back here, you see we've got the same thing. Home, about, listings, the sub menus, search, tools, the sub menus, market report, news, and contacts. So if I want to change anything and move anything around, we can easily do that. So for instance, let's say I want to move news up here right after about. So I just move it there and save it. So let's go ahead and get rid of these guys. Refresh this. Now you can see news is right here. Let's say I want to move news under tools. So I'll just take news and then I'll move it under tools here, right? So I'll put it at the top. Oops. Okay, let's put it right after mortgage affordability calculator, right there. So it's under tools now. So we don't have news here anymore. Instead, under tools, I can see news. So that's very easy. Now, let's say I don't want to have news at all. So I can just go ahead and remove it. Just click on the minus sign right here and it removes it. So I don't even have news anymore. Right? Nothing. Or I want to place it back. I just click on the plus. Or I just click on load default and it will go back to the default again. And finally, I can add new menu items. So let's say I want to point to a certain section or a third-party website, for instance. Let's say I want to point to the Toronto District School Board website. I'll just copy the URL. Now I want to add a menu item, right? A new one. So I'm going to add a new one, and then title here is going to be TDSB. And here's the link. I just paste the link that I copied right there. I add it in, and then I have the TDSB here. What I need to do is to add it to the main structure here. So I can click on the plus sign, and it's added to the main structure right here. And I can place it wherever I want to have it, right? So let's just place it right here at the end. There we go. We have TDSB, which is linked to the TDSB's website. Maybe it's too much here. Let's just, okay, I want to change it now. Instead of TDSB, I want it to say Toronto School Board, right? So what I'll do is that I'll click on the negative sign here. I removed it. Now I want to edit this. I'll click here and I can change this Toronto School Board. Save. So I could change this, I could change this, whatever I want to change, I'll change and then I'll add it again. See, now we have the new version added in. So if we want to change anything, remove it, change it, and then add it back in again. Let's see how it changed. You see, it's a little bit too much now. I have too much content on my menu here, and that's why it's been pushed. The menu items have been pushed and are interfering with my logo right here. Okay, so I have several options here. One option, if I really want to have all of this in there, is to go back here, theme, change that to center, and I'll move the logo. See, I have the logo at the top now, and these guys are all at the bottom. So I have more space allocated to the to the menu. Or I can just leave this to the left, and I will rearrange the menu items. I think it was transparent. Oops. Like that. Now I will rearrange this. So let's go ahead and open up some space. Main menu. I can put Toronto School Board under tools, for instance. If I don't want to do that, I can move some other stuff under there. So I'll move contact under about. So you see, I just moved it there and then pushed it to the right, and then it went under about. I will put market report under tools. I will put news under tools as well. So I'm just moving them under these. Let's save it. So I just removed a few items, and now I've opened up space. There we go. So now I have about, contact is right there. Then we have tools with all the other stuff in here as well. And then now I have opened up space for this big item that I wanted to have in the menu. All right. And that's your last tab right here. So this concludes the discussions that I wanted to have with regards to website customization. I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. I think you now have a lot of information to process in terms of the abilities that you have, the options that you have, the capabilities, the options, and then the ideas that you want to implement. So now it's your turn to go back to the drawing board and reimagine your website, how you want the website to be structured, how you want the website to look like. And now you know how easy it is to change things around, and you'll be able to apply a lot more of your unique ideas to your website and be able to keep it more vibrant and make these changes to your website on an ongoing basis more frequently, and be able to be a little bit more creative with the website that you have. It's also easy. It's also easy to understand. And once you do it a couple of times, you'll get a hang of it, and you'll be able to do this a lot more often and faster and quicker. And you're going to be able to apply your ideas, your tools, your marketing tags and services and all of those on your website whenever it makes sense and wherever it makes sense. All right, let me just quickly check the questions. I don't have any further questions, so we're going to stop here. I hope this session was informative for you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again with a different topic next week, same place. Take care.